Every one of us has felt regret, those moments when we wish we could undo past decisions. But what if some of the wisest people in history, like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, held the secret to living without regrets? These ancient Stoics mastered the art of tranquility and rational decision-making, which we can apply to manage stress, align our choices with our values, and shape a fulfilling, regret-free future. By learning their practical wisdom, we can transform how we approach daily challenges and become more resilient. Marcus Aurelius, for instance, faced the Antonine Plague with calm and deliberate action, implementing rational measures in a time of chaos. His responses exemplify Stoic principles, showing us how we too can make decisions rooted in clear thinking, even in the face of overwhelming events. The lessons of Stoicism are not just historical but deeply relevant to modern life, offering insights on mindfulness, resilience, and serving the greater good. As you dive into this exploration of Stoic teachings, you will discover how to use their wisdom to live a more purposeful life. From facing everyday stress to making impactful decisions, this philosophy empowers us to embrace life without regret, guided by a rational, balanced approach to whatever challenges come our way. Stay tuned, and by the end, you'll walk away with tools that could genuinely change how you live. 1. Relatability. Relatability is the key to making a concept like Stoicism feel personal, especially in today's fast-paced world. Think about it. Everyone, at some point, has felt the pang of regret, a decision they wish they could undo, a moment they wish they could relive. It's that universal experience that binds us together, across time and space. The intriguing part is how this common feeling of regret, something we've all lived through, can be turned from a source of pain into a path toward peace, through ancient wisdom. The beauty of Stoicism lies in its ability to meet us exactly where we are, right in the middle of life's struggles, fears, and uncertainties. Marcus Aurelius, who was not just a philosopher but a Roman emperor, faced intense pressures that mirror our own challenges today, only magnified. Yet, he and other Stoics didn't crumble under the weight of their regrets or mistakes. Instead, they developed a mental framework to live without being chained to them. By tapping into the everyday feelings of loss, missed opportunities, or even anxiety over the future, Stoicism shows us that these aren't unique burdens we carry alone. What's truly fascinating is how, once we realize that these emotions have been felt by people centuries before us, the weight starts to lift. We realize that these struggles are part of being human, and within that shared struggle lies an immense power to reshape how we think, feel, and act. This shared emotional landscape connects us to the Stoics, making their advice not just philosophy but a mirror reflecting our own lives. That's the secret. The Stoics don't just talk to us, they talk through us, because their wisdom is built on experiences we all know intimately. 2. Stoicism's practicality. Stoicism's practicality is where this ancient philosophy truly shines. It's not just lofty ideas floating in the realm of intellectual debate, but rather a grounded, actionable guide for living. Imagine a philosophy that doesn't just tell you what to think but teaches you how to navigate the challenges of everyday life. That's the essence of Stoicism. It gives you tools you can use, right now, to transform the way you handle stress, anxiety, tough decisions, and even relationships. What makes this so intriguing is that it isn't some abstract, out-of-reach ideal. The Stoics believe that life's most difficult moments, loss, failure, conflict, are not meant to crush us but to teach us. For them, each day was an opportunity to apply philosophy as if it were a muscle, building strength and resilience over time. For instance, when Marcus Aurelius faced the Antonine Plague, a devastating pandemic that could have caused widespread panic, he didn't rely on mere hope or abstract ideas. Instead, he made rational, calculated decisions, like subsidizing funeral costs and selling his personal possessions to fund military efforts. His choices weren't driven by fear, but by a calm, deliberate mindset grounded in Stoic principles. This wasn't just philosophy for the sake of philosophy. It was practical action, taken in the real world. The Stoics were masters of what we might call mental judo. They knew how to flip life's challenges into opportunities for growth. Seneca famously said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality," reminding us that the real battle is often not the event itself but how we think about it. If you can master your mind, you can master your life. This means that Stoicism isn't some distant intellectual exercise. It's a blueprint for navigating the emotional chaos of modern life. The practical aspect of Stoicism becomes even more fascinating when you realize how it gives you agency. The Stoics taught that while we can't control external events, we can control our reactions to them. Epictetus, a former slave turned philosopher, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." In this way, Stoicism arms you with the most powerful tool in any situation, your mindset. The intrigue lies in the fact that this ancient wisdom offers a kind of mental armor for navigating our high-stress, hyper-connected world. It's a philosophy that doesn't just theorize about the good life. It gives you the step-by-step guidance to live it, starting right now. And that's what makes Stoicism so practical and so powerful. 3. Historical context. Historical context is the hidden backbone of understanding any philosophy. But when it comes to Stoicism, it adds a level of intrigue that makes the ideas come alive. Imagine this: a bustling Roman Empire, filled with political turmoil, wars, and plagues, where emperors ruled not just with power but with wisdom. This is the world where Stoicism was born, a philosophy designed for real-world chaos, not the quiet contemplation of monks or scholars in ivory towers. The intriguing part is that Stoicism emerged not in some tranquil period of peace, but in the midst of some of the most turbulent times in history. Take Marcus Aurelius, for instance, one of Stoicism's most famous adherents. He wasn't just a philosopher who wrote in the comfort of a study. He was a Roman emperor who led armies, battled plagues, and dealt with betrayal from within his own empire. His famous work, Meditations, wasn't written for an audience but as a personal journal, a reminder to himself to stay grounded amidst chaos. Think about that, an emperor, arguably one of the most powerful people in history, needing a daily reminder to stay calm and focused. It brings Stoicism from the realm of abstract thought into the gritty reality of life. Even before Marcus, figures like Seneca, a Roman statesman and advisor to Emperor Nero, used Stoicism to navigate the treacherous waters of political life. Living in a time when one wrong move could mean exile or death, Seneca used Stoicism as a shield, reminding himself daily that external events could not control his inner peace. And then there's Epictetus, a former slave who rose to become one of the most influential Stoic philosophers. His very life is a testament to the power of Stoic teachings. Despite being enslaved and enduring hardship, he focused not on his external conditions but on mastering his own mind. His teachings emphasize that true freedom comes not from your circumstances but from your mindset, a radical idea for his time, and one that resonates even more in our modern age of external pressures. The historical context of Stoicism adds depth because it was a philosophy forged in fire, born out of necessity, in times of crisis. Whether it was Roman emperors steering a crumbling empire, statesmen navigating treachery, or a slave finding inner freedom, the Stoics weren't merely pondering life's questions from a distance. They were living their philosophy, applying it in the face of very real, very personal challenges. By placing Stoicism in its historical context, it becomes clear that this was no detached set of ideas but a philosophy of action, a battle-tested way of thinking, honed by some of history's most resilient and influential figures. That's what makes its teachings so powerful and timeless. They weren't just created to be admired, they were forged in the brutal reality of life, proving their value in some of history's most dramatic moments. 4. Philosophical depth. Philosophical depth in Stoicism is like stepping into an ancient labyrinth of thought, where every twist and turn reveals another profound insight into the nature of life, fate, and human behavior. At its core, Stoicism isn't just about keeping a stiff upper lip in the face of adversity. It's a philosophy that plunges into the deepest questions of existence, probing at the essence of what it means to live well in a world full of chaos and uncertainty. To truly grasp its depth, picture this. The Stoics believe that the universe operates according to a rational order, governed by logos, a kind of cosmic reason that binds everything together. This wasn't just a spiritual concept but an idea deeply embedded in their view of the world. Everything that happens, whether good or bad, is a part of this grand design, unfolding with a logic far beyond our individual understanding. This immediately elevates Stoicism beyond a mere survival strategy. It becomes a philosophy of cosmic alignment, where human beings are part of a larger, interconnected web of fate and reason. Take the Stoic idea of virtue. To the Stoics, virtue was the highest good, the ultimate aim of life, and it wasn't just about moral behavior. Virtue, for them, meant living in harmony with nature and reason. It demanded not only moral integrity but wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. These weren't ideals floating in the clouds. They were practical principles meant to guide every decision. A truly virtuous life was one lived according to reason, in alignment with the natural order of the cosmos. This gave their idea of virtue an almost mystical significance. By cultivating it, you weren't just living a good life, you were living in sync with the very fabric of the universe. Then there's the Stoic view of emotions. Emotions, according to Stoicism, weren't simply feelings to be experienced, they were judgments. When you feel fear, it's because you've judged something to be harmful. When you feel anger, it's because you've judged something to be unjust. The Stoics taught that we must train our minds to rethink these judgments, to question whether our reactions are in line with reality, or are just impulsive responses. This is where Stoicism's depth really starts to shine. It's not about repressing emotions, but mastering them through understanding. Perhaps one of the most intriguing aspects of Stoicism's depth is its approach to death. Where most philosophies fear it, the Stoics embraced it as an integral part of life. Seneca famously said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Death, in the Stoic worldview, isn't something to dread but something to reflect upon constantly. This concept, known as memento mori, remember that you will die, wasn't meant to be morbid. It was a reminder to live fully and wisely, making every moment count. It's a philosophy that doesn't just help you endure life but empowers you to live with purpose, free from the anxieties that plague those who fear the inevitable. The Stoics also ventured into the nature of control, drawing a clear line between what is within our power, our thoughts, actions, and reactions, and what is beyond it, fate, other people's actions, external events. Epictetus' famous dictum, "Some things are up to us, and some are not," summarizes a philosophical revolution. By accepting the limits of our control, Stoicism invites us to let go of unnecessary suffering and focus solely on what we can influence. This deep recognition transforms our relationship with the world, offering both peace and a framework for meaningful action. In essence, Stoicism isn't just a philosophy of life, it's a philosophy of the universe, guiding individuals to align their thoughts, actions, and emotions with the natural, rational flow of existence. The deeper you dive into Stoicism, the more it feels like uncovering ancient wisdom that resonates with the fundamental truths of life. It offers a blueprint not just for survival but for flourishing, even in the face of the most profound existential questions. The philosophical depth of Stoicism is both a map and a mirror, reflecting the deepest corners of human nature while pointing us toward a life lived in harmony with the world around us. 5. Focus on mindfulness. Mindfulness in Stoicism is like holding a lantern in a dark room, allowing you to see clearly what was once obscured by the shadows of distraction and emotion. While mindfulness today is often associated with meditation or calming the mind, the Stoic version goes far deeper. It's about living with acute awareness, grounded in the present moment but with an eye on the bigger picture of life and its inevitable uncertainties. Imagine for a moment you're a Roman general on the eve of battle, like Marcus Aurelius. The weight of the empire rests on your shoulders, and the chaos of the world swirls around you. wars, plagues, political intrigue. Yet, in the midst of this turmoil, you practice Stoic mindfulness, focusing not on the overwhelming scope of events but on what is right in front of you, in this very moment. Stoic mindfulness is the art of narrowing your attention to what you can control, your thoughts, your actions, your responses, and letting go of everything else. At the heart of Stoic mindfulness is the idea of attentiveness to the present. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "Concentrate every minute on doing what's in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness, tenderly, willingly, with justice." This is more than just being in the moment. It's about approaching life with purposeful focus, where every task, no matter how small, is infused with meaning. When you're mindful in the Stoic sense, even mundane acts like eating, walking, or conversing become opportunities to engage fully with life. This focus on the present moment connects to another Stoic principle, amor fati, the love of fate. The Stoics didn't just suggest accepting what happens, they advocated for embracing it fully, seeing every event, every twist of fate, as an essential part of the grand cosmic plan. Mindfulness, in this context, is about cultivating an attitude of radical acceptance. You stop wishing for the past to change, and you stop anxiously fretting over the future. Instead, you meet each moment with calm curiosity and engage with life as it is, not as you wish it to be. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic teachers, emphasized this form of mindfulness when he advised, "Do not seek to have events happen as you want them to, but instead want them to happen as they do happen, and your life will go well." This isn't passive resignation, it's a mindful alignment with reality, a conscious choice to focus on how we react to life's challenges rather than the challenges themselves. It's about mastering your internal world and being deeply present in the face of life's unpredictability. Mindfulness in Stoicism also carries a unique moral weight. To the Stoics, being mindful isn't just for personal peace, it's tied to living virtuously. When you practice Stoic mindfulness, you are constantly assessing whether your thoughts and actions are aligned with virtue, whether you are living with wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control. Every moment is a chance to check in with yourself, to reflect on whether you're acting in accordance with your highest principles. This self-awareness is at the core of Stoic mindfulness. It's not about escaping the world but engaging with it more deeply, with clarity and purpose. But perhaps the most intriguing part of Stoic mindfulness is how it asks you to detach from the noise of the world, not by retreating into solitude, but by sharpening your focus. In today's world, we're bombarded with distractions, endless notifications, social pressures, and the constant chatter of modern life. The Stoics understood this too, though in a different form. Marcus Aurelius famously said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Stoic mindfulness trains you to focus on what truly matters, your character, your actions, and your immediate experience, while letting go of the distractions that pull you away from living a meaningful life. In this way, Stoic mindfulness isn't just a practice, it's a way of being. It transforms how you move through the world, teaching you to live with intention, purpose, and resilience. Whether in the midst of a personal crisis or just navigating the challenges of daily life, Stoic mindfulness equips you to stay grounded, focused, and aligned with your deeper values. It's not about silencing the noise, it's about learning to hear the still, guiding voice of reason within yourself amidst the chaos. 6. Service to others. Service to others in Stoicism is not just a noble act, it is the essence of living virtuously, a practice that connects the individual to the larger fabric of humanity. It's intriguing because, for the Stoics, the self and others are not separate entities, but intertwined parts of the same cosmic order. The Stoic concept of service transforms the way we think about generosity and altruism, not as duties or sacrifices, but as expressions of our highest nature as rational, social beings. Imagine you are Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of the Roman Empire, with absolute power at your disposal. It would be easy to become a tyrant or to serve only your personal interests. Yet, despite holding the highest position in the ancient world, Marcus devoted himself to the service of others. In his meditations, he constantly reminded himself of his responsibility to his fellow human beings, saying, "What's bad for the hive is bad for the bee." This powerful metaphor captures the Stoic belief that our individual well-being is tied to the well-being of others. Serving others is not a burden, it's a logical necessity. At the core of Stoic service is the idea of akiosis, or affinity, for others. This concept teaches that we are born with a natural inclination to care for ourselves and those closest to us, our family, friends, and community. However, the Stoics challenge us to expand the circle of care beyond our immediate relationships to include all of humanity. Service, therefore, becomes a practice of seeing ourselves in others and recognizing that by lifting others, we elevate the collective good, which in turn benefits us all. But Stoic service isn't just about grand gestures of charity or self-sacrifice. It's about how we engage with others on a daily basis, even in the smallest interactions. Every act of kindness, patience, or understanding is a form of service, a way of nurturing the bonds that connect us. Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, emphasized this when he said, "Remember that you are here for the sake of others." To serve others is to live in harmony with nature, since human nature, the Stoics believed, is fundamentally social. We are designed to work together, to cooperate, and to help one another thrive. What makes Stoic service particularly intriguing is its emphasis on detachment from personal gain. The Stoics believe that we should serve others without expecting anything in return, not even gratitude or recognition. This is where Stoicism diverges from other philosophies or moral systems that emphasize reciprocity. For the Stoic, true service is selfless, motivated by the simple fact that it is the right thing to do, regardless of whether it is acknowledged or rewarded. In this way, service becomes a path to inner freedom. You're no longer concerned with external approval or material rewards, but only with living according to virtue. Another fascinating aspect of Stoic service is its connection to leadership. For the Stoics, leadership is not about wielding power but about using power for the benefit of others. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher and advisor to Emperor Nero, often reminded leaders that their position was one of service, not privilege. The higher your status, the more responsibility you have to act for the common good. True leaders, in the Stoic sense, are those who put the needs of their community before their own desires, who act with wisdom and justice for the greater whole. In today's world, where individualism and self-promotion often dominate, the Stoic concept of service offers a countercultural approach. It challenges us to step outside our personal concerns and view ourselves as part of a larger community, one that extends beyond our immediate social circles to encompass all humanity. Service to others, in this sense, is not just a moral obligation, it's a way of aligning ourselves with the universal order, contributing to the collective good while simultaneously cultivating our own virtues. The Stoic view of service ultimately reminds us that, although we are individuals, we are not isolated. Our greatest purpose lies not in serving ourselves, but in contributing to the lives of others. And in doing so, we fulfill the deepest part of our nature as rational, social creatures, finding meaning, connection, and fulfillment in the act of lifting others up. The closing message emphasizes the Stoic teaching of interconnectedness and the importance of serving others. Epictetus reminds us that it's not what happens to us but how we respond that defines our experience. In the context of service, this means responding to the needs of others with compassion and action. By helping those around us, we not only relieve their burdens but also strengthen our own inner peace and resilience. The video concludes by encouraging viewers to continue exploring Stoicism, offering more opportunities to learn and grow. It thanks the community for their participation, reminding them that a serene and purposeful life is just a thought away.